Hi everyone. So in this video, we'll be looking at, this is the master for the handles for the Klingon Concertina made for DS9. This master was made by Dragon Drone and myself. Now, as you can see here, these fingers are sculpted out of Sculpey in reality. The main body of this is made out of solid acrylic. This particular piece here and here are made out of, I believe this is 1 inch thick acrylic sheet. Once again, heavy prop, but stiff. The other piece here is this is an insert. This whole piece here is an insert into that part, which is made out of like 3/4 inch acrylic. And then these strips here were added to the top of the piece after everything was grooved out. Now, when I say grooved out, I'm talking about in between all these is a bevel cut, and it rounds over, as you can see here, into these sections. So this particular piece, this was probably we had about 2 days to make this particular part. The hardest part of this was the actual accordion concertina piece that had to move when he played it. So we actually had a talented lady, and I do not recall what her name is, unfortunately. If she sees this, she can put her name down there and you know, tell us what she did. But basically, she made the bellows for this thing that were covered. The bellows were made out of a cardstock with inner. It's kind of, I don't know how to put it. It's kind of like origami. It's, you know, creasing and folding, creasing and folding, creasing and folding. So it was one big giant piece of cardstock that was folded and creased in such a way that when you rolled it into a square, which is, I believe, if I remember correctly, the concertina was a square or an octagon, I don't remember. When you put it together and glued everything together, it just worked perfectly. You know, it was amazing. And she made us 3 of those, and we made 2 concertinas, one of which ended up getting torn or something, so we ended up using the safety bellows. This also had a strap right here, because this is where your hand would sit to touch the buttons up here. And my hand's not quite big enough. The guy that they had playing the concertina in the episode, he had some pretty big hands. But there was a sheepskin strap, so you put your hand through it. So, you know, so you would, like any type of concertina or anything like that, it would keep your hand where you wanted it to be. Basically, once this was done, as you see it here, we took and molded it and did our castings, and we actually had to drill holes in the corners here across this entire section here, because once we glued, screwed, and anything else that we needed for the bellows to attach to the 2 pieces, from one for each side, you actually couldn't close it because there was no place for the air to escape. So on both sides, we had to drill holes so he could actually, you know, do the whole, you know, action with it. So, you know, once again, oh, and the other thing, it also had these claws that came out. Well, these claws were a casting of an American bald eagle's claw that I had gotten a casting of a real bald eagle, and we basically took those and we shoved them in there. So this was actually a fun project. Didn't have a lot of time. In the end, this piece, in my opinion, actually looked fantastic on screen. I think it looked great on and just my photography that I did of it once we finished it. This is one of those pieces I would have loved to have had sitting on the shelf just as a conversation piece, because it's actually a very cool looking part. The Klingon Concertina, because it always sounds better in the original Klingon. I hope you liked this video. Please like and share. And if you feel so inclined, please become a Patreon member. And thank you.